Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Rodrigo from LendCRM, Sales and Marketing Director with them. How are you doing today, Rodrigo?
Good. Thank you, Ernesto, for inviting me.
It's great to have you on, and we're discussing a little bit about what it's all about. So let's get what the listeners are tuning in for. In your own words, can you tell us a little bit more about what LendCRM is all about?
Well, LendCRM is it's a SaaS product. Our company, Zero Consulting, has been around for 11 years, and this is one of the products that Zero Consulting owns. LendCRM is a loan origination software, and is designed specifically at this moment for hard money and private money lenders. These are lenders who lend money to people who flip houses, who build houses from the ground up, who refurbish properties. And these people can't go to banks because banks take too long in the due diligence process, or they'll just say no. So these lenders lend money at very short-term loans at a very high level of interest. So they're expensive loans, but they're made to turn around quickly. So these people who borrow these loans, they'll buy the house, fix it up, turn around quickly, pay the loan, go back and keep doing it again, right? So these loans are made to facilitate the process. Our software helps facilitate the loan origination process, right? So they gather all the documents. It has a CRM like a HubSpot or a Salesforce. It has email marketing. We generate newsletters. You generate term sheets with e-sign. All the tools you need on one platform, and we customize it to fit the individual business needs because everybody's different. So we're not a cookie cutter program. We're very much into meeting specific needs of a specific customer.
Definitely, and I would agree with you on that. And it's great, right? Something that is fast and easy. I mean, somebody could go into a bank and take a while to get those loans. So glad that there's something out there like this. And so then that way our listeners could get a good understanding of LendCRM here, Rodrigo. To sum it up, then what would you say is a key problem that you guys like to solve for clients?
Well, our owners are also investors, so they understand the industry. They understand all of the craziness that's involved in it, gathering documents, the due diligence, getting everything together, and the whole process of applying for. So they understand that because they're investors. So with that in mind, they came up with a product that's generated not just by IT people, but by people who understand the industry. So that's one key we have, right? That we understand the problems, challenges that this industry has. So our mindset is we're not only a solution, we want to be a value. So we want to also be a source of information along with the platform, right? So that's what we try to differentiate ourselves. We want to be of value to our clients.
Definitely. And so is there, I mean, you were mentioning a couple of verticals here. Is there a segment that you guys like to go for, or is there an ideal ICP for you guys?
Well, because, and like I spoke to you, we're getting ready to expand the platform. So that changes, Ernesto. Like I said, when I came from this company, I was hired to market the product, right? But things are changing. And also we listen to our clients. They tell us what they see out there, so we have to be on top of that as well. So it's always changing. What we were doing last year, now we're getting ready to reevaluate how we're going about things because we have to. And your clients pretty much they give you that insight. And part of being a good marketer is listening to them. And again, the owners of LendCRM understand that, and they're very open to that. They're very sensitive to that. That's what makes us different.
And that's great to hear. So then how would somebody usually find out about you guys, about LendCRM? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
No, it's not one thing you do. It's a combination of a lot of things. Of course, we have social media. We're active on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on X. It's called X now, Instagram. We're in the process of redoing our website to keep it fresh. We're going to add a bigger blog system. We're going to add a bunch of other tools. But a lot of it, Ernesto, is going out there. We go to the conventions, the AAPL, the NAPL, these big events, these big lender, hard money, private lender conventions. We go out there, we participate, we meet people. We go to other events, right? Either real estate, commercial real estate events, or just other small business events, because These help you understand what's out there on the big scale, on a large scale, what's out there, what the industry's like, what the economy's like, and you make those connections. So a big part of this is making those connections, meeting people, shaking hands, offering your services, and just building relationships. I don't believe, and I've been doing this for over 30 years in 5 different industries. Building relationships is the key to your longevity and your long-term success. Without it, you're going to miss out. So it's a combination of all these things, Ernesto.
I definitely would agree on you. And we're talking about a little bit that you're revamping the website, but as far as you guys' website, and for our listeners who are tuned in, you can check them out at LendCRM.com. What role does the website play for client acquisition, Rodrigo?
Well, again, we want to make our website a little bit more proactive. It was a good site when the company first started, but now we see again with the changes we spoke about, we want to incorporate other things into it. We want to be values. We want to be also, our goal is to be also an information source for our clients, right? Because a lot of our clients, we see they podcast, they stay in touch, they discuss what's going on in the world today, the industry, in economics, with everything that's going on. Right. And they do that so they can keep up with it and share that. So we want to do the same thing. I've learned in the past that when you become a source of information, right, you add value to yourself. You're not just taking money, from the industry. You have to give back a little bit. We do, aside from the community things we do, we want to be a value, a source of information. We want to help our clients be aware of things. So a lot of people, they get tied in with day-to-day business. We miss what's going on. So you want to go to our website and check in what's going on and see what's going on, maybe make connections with other people, other industries. So we want to be that kind of a hub. And I believe that's important to, again, as part of building those relationships and staying relevant.
Definitely would agree with you. Thanks so much for sharing that. And based on that, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
Well, you look at what other people are doing on websites, not just the competitors. You look at what other people are doing in other industries, right? And you pick up things and you get ideas. But Ernesto, and again, I'm sure you're cognizant of this also. You have to stay. You can't stay stagnant. You got to always revisit your website. And a key factor is looking at it from, instead of a marketer or sales or the owner, you have to look at it from a consumer, because at the end of the day, we're all consumers. We all shop, we all spend money. So you got to put your consumer hat on, look at your website and say, okay, do I like this? Is this getting me to push the button to subscribe for a demo, right? Is this website constantly? You look at it in that aspect, and you have to constantly reevaluate. Is this working? Will other people look at it? And you get other people look at it and say, what do you think? So you're constantly having to reevaluate what you are doing. And that includes your website, your marketing campaigns, what you're posting, what kind of material you're putting out there, what kind of collateral you're issuing. You always have to revisit it and look at it from the consumer point of view, not just the marketing and advertising and sales of it, but you have to take yourself out of that realm and go into the consumer realm. Because in the end of the day, we're all consumers, and you have to look at it with that same eye.
Definitely would agree with you on that. Thanks so much for sharing those tips and methods. Well, let's switch gears a little bit, Rodrigo, and let's talk about you. You being the sales and marketing director there for LendCRM. What are some key tasks you like to focus on your day-to-day work?
Well, my day-to-day is, first of all, I see there's plenty of things to do, because aside from me going out after clients, customer service is big. I check with our clients. How you doing? What's going on today? Any questions? Anything I can do for you? Always try and stay, in touch with them. We don't just sell them, we have to maintain that relationship, right? So it's circling around always with our clients. And again, our call to action is to get people to go to our website and schedule a demo. So I sit in on the demos, and when we get this client, we onboard them. I sit in the onboarding process to let them know that the guy who got them into this mess is there, right? They're always there, and I'm there to answer questions, and they can just pick up the phone and call me. right? And my task is again, just we're always branding. I don't care if you've been around for 12 years or 2 years, you have to always be branding. So you look for ways to get your name out there, make those connections on LinkedIn, on Facebook, hook up with other associations, join associations, go to their events, send out some emails, thank you emails, sending out capability statements. It's never ending, but it's fun because you're connecting. The whole fun of it is connecting with those people. Some people are very nice and they'll listen and they appreciate the connection. Other people tell you, hey man, I ain't got time to get out of here. But it's okay. But that's the day-to-day basis. And it's following up and going after new clients and seeing where they're at, trying to locate them. Because again, Ernesto, everything changes. Not only do markets change, demographics change, which affects your geofencing efforts. So it's constantly just looking. Basically, it's looking and
Definitely.
taking notes.
Yep, and like you sound like you have the experience. I mean, you've been at it for a while, so it sounds like you already know what to do. You have everything balanced. So great stuff there. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rodrigo. And well, let's jump into our next section here, Rodrigo, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for that?
Sure.
Awesome. First off, what is the last book that you read?
I'm reading a book. I can't the name remember, but it's Who Betrayed Anne Frank. Now, for those moment of me, going back to World War II, Anne Frank, she was a little girl. The diary of Anne Frank was betrayed to the Gestapo, and she and her family were all they died in concentration camps, except for the father. Reading this book, they think they find out who is the one who betrayed them, who betrayed the family. Right, that's always fascinated me. Right, so I'm reading right in the middle of this book. It goes to investigation and questioning people and going back and for a little bit of forensic science and things like that. So it's very interesting. That's the book I'm engrossed with right now. Is who's the one who really betrayed Anne Frank?
Definitely. I mean, it's an interesting story of her life, and that's I believe there's a couple of books up there, and each one has its own. So good for a read there for our listeners.
Yeah.
Next, Rodrigo, is what is one thing that LendCRM is focused on at the moment the most?
LendCRM, again, the whole thing is building relationships. We're involved with the Chambers of Commerce, a lot of our local affiliates. We're trying to make these connections with not just business, but with the community. We want our owners, our investors are big into those relationships with the community, in the communities which we're going after, right? We want to be able to give something back, at the same time make those relationships, because that's important. And that's part of our culture, or kind of our philosophy is you have to make those connections first and make them last, right? And that generates trust.
Definitely would agree with you on that. Next up is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
That's a good question. There's so many things going on out there right now. I mean, every time I turn around, there's a new marketing tool out there. A lot of it's AI-based, in the automated marketing and integrated marketing. And I've worked in 5 different industries, but the ultimate tool for marketing has to be the one that, again, it helps you make those connections, those links, those type of relationships. Automated doesn't work for me because you have to change. And you can't keep the same thing going. You have to be flexible. So, the CRMs are the ones that I use the most because, again, it allows me to communicate with them, send them newsletters, send them videos, send them, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Friday. Those things that allow me to kind of make that little personal touch. So the CRMs are the ones I really look as the most valuable tool in the arsenal at this moment. Salud.
Thank you. Yeah, and they're very important, right? As far as for any marketer and sales, and everybody needs that organization, and I think they're really good. So definitely something that everybody needs. At
you have to wonder, they're more than just blasting out newsletters and blasting out mass email marketing. You have to give to that personal touch. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. I hope your family is well. have a safe weekend. Those are the things that people remember because we're all humans. We're all human beings, and we have to keep it on a human level, right? And those things go a long way, Ernesto. And I'm sure you realize that's the things that people remember you for. Instead of just blasting out, hey, come look at this, come look at this. This is pricing. You have to keep it human.
I would totally agree with you. That's what people remember. So yep, I would agree with that.
Yes.
And lastly, Rodrigo, I mean, like you mentioned, you have a lot of experience already within the marketing world, but what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Use your eyes and ears more effectively, right? Look around you. One of the things we don't do is, Ernesto, sometimes we fail to step back and take a big look at the big picture, what's around you, what's going on, all the different things that affect you, and listen to people, who've been through the battle, the veterans of the battles, those who have ideas and those who can guide you in that aspect. Because when you first start as a young person, you want to eat up the world, you got all these ideas and you want to throw them out in the world, you want people to know who you are, and you want to make impact and this and that, things that fill you in school. But the reality is something different, and you learn that along the way. That's with experience, that's with your successes, your failures. I learned it the hard way also, but that's one thing that I've come to understand is huge in whatever you do, whether it's marketing and advertising, whether it's public relations, in any form of business. You have to be able to look and listen, and that's something I think we fail to do.
All right,
especially
awesome.
when you're young, especially when you first got out the gates. You're thrown out the gates like a racehorse, man. You just, I'm gonna,
yeah. You're trying to, like you mentioned, I don't think I could phrase it even better, but you come out and you want to eat the world and throw the ideas, get noticed.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to have that kind of attitude and that aggressive and ambition, but there's times you have to stop, look, and listen. Stop, look, and listen. Some of the best advice you ever get, and there's some advice that we constantly ignore. Stop, look, and listen, because then you realize, oh my God, I missed this. I blew it here. I missed this. Then you say, oh God, I missed this because you're too busy, doing the laps. You're running around the track and you miss these things. You missed that little golden nugget there that could have been useful to you, or you missed that bottle of water that can keep you going. Or you don't see that hole that's right in front of you. So the stop, look, and listen thing is one of the best advice that we never do. We never listen to. And that's something I learned the hard way.
I think
and you know what? I'm still reminded of it,
Yep, I would agree totally. Awesome. Hey, well, Rodrigo, we're coming to the end of today's episode, but I do want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about LendCRM?
Again, I go back to not just solution, but value. Value. We want to be more than just a loan origination software. We made this conscious decision here late last year to be more than just. That's just not just as a competing element, Ernesto, but to something that people will remember us by. That people always say, those guys on Instagram, go, let's check out the website again. You want something to always keep them coming back, even if they don't become a client, but later down the line, that seed is planted, right? It's like when you're preaching the gospel, you plant the seeds. Down the line, they may get it. Same way with LendCRM. We know we may not get that client right now, but maybe 6 months down the line, because we're offering something that's different, a value, and that we understand who they are, what their challenges are, what they go through. We understand that, and we want to be not just solution, but a value. And I think that in the long run, it will serve you better. So the value element is always trying to be a value, and that's something that's constant. It's you gotta tweak it, expand it. It's just nothing simple. It's not a simple solution. It's just working out. So the value elements, what I would like people to look at LendCRM as a value. Even if they're not in the industry, but just to kind of understand that that's a very important key.
I would agree with you. Hey, well, Rodrigo, thank you so much for being on. To our listeners, check them out at LendCRM.com. LendCRM is a cloud-based loan origination and servicing software integrated with very strong CRM features. Thank you so much for our listeners tuning in, and I'm looking forward to our next episode at Pathmonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Rodrigo.
Thank you, Ernesto. Have a great day, my friend.